Support for Up to Date is provided by Geisinger, providing world-class care for our community. Here, where it matters.
Hello and happy Monday. Welcome to Up to Date from WVIA News. I'm Sarah Scinto, back to get you caught up on all the news you should know about. Today, it's campaign season, and Republicans are trying to make Scranton's crime levels a key issue, but the real statistics might not hold up. And we talk about Luzerne County's new sheriff in the latest News Voices. It's Monday, August 17th. Let's get you up to date. We'll get to that Scranton story in just a minute. First, let's look at the midterm election from a statewide view. With 3 months to go until midterms, Pennsylvania Secretary of State Al Schmidt joined other officials last week to push back on election misinformation. Tom Reese reports for WVIA.
Even as activists ramp up dubious claims of voter fraud, Schmidt said there's nothing sketchy going on in Pennsylvania. A conservative group called Early Vote Action contends that it can find illegal voters by checking county juror lists. And it's blasted local election officials for not ensuring people are citizens when they register to vote. But on Wednesday, Schmidt told reporters that the state, not local election offices, matches voter applications with Social Security and other data. He says voting by non-citizens hardly ever happens, despite claims to the contrary.
It is admittedly challenging to compete against people who lie for a living and don't have to explain the laws in Pennsylvania and at the federal level.
And when election officials update voter records for people who have moved or stopped voting, administrators note that some conservative activists accuse them of having something to hide. Reporting from Harrisburg, Tom Reese.
Thanks, Tom. Now let's talk about Scranton. Republicans have made crime in Scranton an issue as they try to thwart Mayor Paige Cognetti's bid for Congress. But as WVIA's Boris Kraucheniuk explains, statistics don't show serious crime going up during Cognetti's tenure.
Congressman Rob Bresnahan's campaign and a group that helps Republican congressional candidates blame Mayor Paige Cognetti for out-of-control crime in northeast Pennsylvania's most populous city. This is what Bresnahan's campaign manager Peter Brath said in December. That was the day after a man slashed 2 women to death with a machete and seriously wounded another in a downtown apartment building. Brath said, "For years, Mayor Cognetti has minimized rising violence, limited the ability of police to enforce the law, and ignored clear warnings about gang activity and increased homicide rates." But Cognetti, who wants Bresnahan's job, points to adding more cops, big spending on crime-fighting equipment and training, and plans for a new police command center.
I am a mayor and a mom, so my life in the last 6.5 years has been 24 hours a day thinking about public safety as mayor and as somebody who's raising a family here in Scranton. The stats tell a story as well. The stats show that violent crime is trending down in Scranton.
Publicly posted FBI and crime statistics show serious crime in Scranton down about 4% since the beginning of 2021, Cognetti's second year in office, through 2025, the last year with complete stats available. Bresnahan's campaign selected statistics that show rises in some serious crimes. For example, the campaign said the city had 14 homicides during Cognetti's first 6 years in office, compared to 11 in the 6 years before that. You can read more about all this at our website, WVIA.org. Reporting from Scranton, I'm Boris Kraucheniuk, WVIA News.
Thanks, Boris. Stay with us. There's more up to date after this break.
The work we do is only possible thanks to your support. I'm Lydia McFarland, healthcare reporter for WVIA News. We're proud to bring you the best news and information out there. Go to WVIA.org/news to see for yourself.
Welcome back. Now it's time for News Voices. This week, I chat with WVIA's Sarah Hofias Hall about Luzerne County's new sheriff. Hello and welcome to News Voices, your weekly look behind the scenes at WVIA News. I'm Sarah Scinto. Thanks for joining us. Luzerne County has a new sheriff, and she's already made history. WVIA's Sarah Hofius Hall is here to talk about it. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
So, Luzerne County's new sheriff, her name is Genesis Arias. Can you talk about what's so history-making about her appointment?
So she's the first woman in that role in Luzerne County's history. She's actually the first Hispanic woman to be a sheriff statewide.
So not only local Luzerne County history, but we're making statewide history now. How is she feeling about that? You had a chance to meet with her recently, yeah?
She's very humbled by it and extremely proud, too. She told me that, the day that they announced her appointment, she actually had to charge her phone 3 times because she was so overwhelmed with, calls and messages from people. But she actually felt proudest when she got home that night because her young daughter was just beaming and, said, I can't believe you're the first woman. Like, I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to go to school and tell all of my friends that my mom is the sheriff. So for her, that was really special.
Now, for some people who may not realize or maybe always had questions about what this is, what does the sheriff of Luzerne County do? What are her duties going to be?
So she will oversee the department's approximately 50 employees. And those employees, they provide security for the courthouse. They issue gun permits. They do a lot of things just to keep the people in the courthouse, the judges safe.
And so she has a pretty extensive background coming into this job. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, she was in the U.S. Army Reserves for, I think it was 13 years. And she was actually deployed to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba twice. And when she got back in 2019, she started full-time in the sheriff's office and has been there ever since and has really found a home there.
And her home, again, is in Hazleton, so a Luzerne County girl coming into the job.
And she only actually moved to Hazleton in 2005. She was born to Dominican parents, so she lived between New York City and New Jersey for her early years, and then moved to Hazleton, graduated from Hazleton Area High School in 2010, and has really found a home.
Yeah, and I remember a line in your story about she never would have thought that this would be possible back then in 2005, coming into Hazleton and going through school here. So what was her reaction to this actually coming true?
She wants young kids, especially a young girl, thinking about what she would tell her former self, to believe in yourself, to take those risks, put yourself out there, because in the end, you never know what you can accomplish.
Now, so far from what you've seen, how has the community responded to their new sheriff?
I think that they really, when they look at her background, they really are impressed with what she's been able to do. And, a lot of people are inspired by, her being the first, Hispanic female in that role. And they're really, they're proud.
Now, as we move on into her holding this position, what are some of the things that Sheriff Arias looks to accomplish?
She really wants to focus on retention, so keeping, the deputies who are there, making sure that they are, happy with their job, seeing what she can do to, improve working conditions. And she also wants to recruit more people to the department because they do have vacancies.
All right. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for being here, and we'll look for your full story at WVIA.org, and we'll certainly be watching Sheriff Arias as her career unfolds.
Great. Thank you.
All right. One last thing for the day. Let's take a look back at This Week in History with WVIA's Julie Sidoni.
This Week in History, a brief look at some of the biggest happenings here at home and around the world, August 17th through the 23rd. It's the week in 1947 that the first Little League World Series championship is played in South Williamsport. A team from Williamsport defeats a Lock Haven team to win the title. In 1959, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signs a proclamation admitting Hawaii into the Union as the 50th state. 1980, this is the week People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals is formed by 2 animal rights activists. PETA eventually becomes a worldwide organization. In 1989, baseball great and Cincinnati Reds manager Pete Rose accepts a settlement for his role in betting on baseball. That settlement includes a lifetime ban from the game. And in 2021, it's the week the FDA fully approves the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine after a trial finds it to be 91% effective in preventing the virus. That's This Week in History. I'm Julie Sidoni, WVIA News.
So, how are we feeling? All caught up and ready to start the week? Find more stories, as always, at WVIA.org. I'm Sarah Scinto. Thanks for listening today. If you want to stay in the know, make sure you subscribe and tune in every weekday wherever you get your podcasts. Have a great day, everyone. I'll catch you tomorrow, right here on Up to Date.